What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to go over how is watching pornography destroying your intimate relationships. Okay, so number one, from my personal experience, is that when you're watching porn, let's say once or twice, 3 times a week, and you're using, you're watching it and you're ejaculating, jerking off, masturbating, whatever the term that you use, what happens over time, you start to get used to this. Okay, you start to get used to this stimulant. You get used to these scenes, and these days they make porn as addictive as possible. They have all these hyper stimulating scenes that continuously makes your mind crave for it more. It's that dopamine hit, right? So what happens is, over time, when you watch this, you start to build dependency on this porn, and you start to need to watch porn to get off. Okay, so what this is called is where you go to have sex with your partner, for example, but you're not getting off. The reason for that is because you need fantasy to get you off. And what you have got yourself used to by watching pornography is every time you need to get off, you watch porn. Like, you have to have some kind of fantasy playing in your mind for you to get excited, and then you can get off. So how's porn destroying your intimate relationships is, first of all, studies have shown that it leads to lower sex drive. So why would you have lower sex drive if you're watching pornography all the time? See, what happens is you're watching porn, it feeds your needs, and all these hyper stimulating scenes is making you feel good, and you get off. But you don't have any drive to have sex with your partner because regular normal sex is boring compared to what you watch on those scenes. But I'm here to tell you that regular sex is not boring. But that's what you feel like it is when you watch porn and you watch all these scenes and these hot actresses and actors doing it, and like it's a movie. Like, they planned for this. Like, they put stuff on to make sure this looks amazing. And you go to have sex with your partner, yet that excitement is not there. That excitement that your mind is used to is not there because you have got yourself trained to the screen. And now you go to have sex with your partner and you just don't have that drive. It's just, you just are not turned on by your partner. And repeatedly over time, that's what happens. Lower sex drive, lower, just drive to even want to be intimate with your partner because your mind is used to these scenes, these hyper stimulating scenes with pornography, and that's what they want. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why watching pornography is destroying your intimate relationships. Number two, every time you're ejaculating, you're losing life force. You're losing, all these minerals that you've been feeding your body. And every time you jerk off, you masturbate, you lose these minerals. And it makes you less of a man because you're losing minerals and protein and fat. That stuff that you've been feeding yourself, you're losing that every time you ejaculate. And there's no emotions involved. Okay? So as you do this over and over and over again, that's why it destroys your intimate relationships. Let me explain. Okay? You jerk off and you meet your needs through watching pornography. And you're all good. And you feel good, and like everything, even though a part of you is like, this is not right. I shouldn't be watching pornography. Like, I should be intimate with my partner. I should be sexual with my partner. But you're not. And what happens is also, when you're jerking off and ejaculating, as men, we have limited amount of these minerals, the sperm, and ejaculate. That's why when you ejaculate, you can't get hard right away. Like, you need 5-10 minutes, and then you can go at it again. And some of us, like myself, I have trained myself to be able to get hard right away because I ejaculate. Like, I orgasm, but I don't ejaculate, right? So, like, I keep my sperm inside. That's the stuff that I go over in my coaching program about semen retention and all these things. So what happens is you jerk off and you let all this semen out. And makes you weak, not as much drive, not as much motivation, and you start to lose your interest in your woman because, first of all, you don't have the drive, you don't have that stamina because you jerk off and you lose it, and you don't have that stamina the motivation, the drive, the attraction for your partner to have sex with them. And this is how watching pornography destroys your intimate relationships, because you jerk off and you lose that little bit that you have, and then you don't have time, or the what's the word that I'm looking for here? The drive to have sex with your partner. Okay, so just want to kind of break this down and go over it. So how watching pornography destroys your intimate relationships is, first of all, you watch porn and leads to lower sex drive, and you don't want to have sex with your partner because it's not as exciting as the scenes that you're watching on pornography and on these scenes. So over time, you lose interest in this activity with your partner. Okay? Number two is, by ejaculating all the time and losing all this life force, it makes you weaker, and it makes you, not have as much drive, not as much motivation. Also, you require these hyper-stimulating scenes more than ever when you are dependent on them, which means that you're not as attracted and dependent to your partner. You don't feel as intimate and sexual with them because it doesn't feel as exciting as when you're watching a porn scene and you're watching a girl and a guy do it, and it's just exciting and it's causing all these things in your mind. So your mind wants more of that and it stays away from regular sex. And also, of course, regular sex with a partner requires you to please them, requires you to be present, requires you to truly care and be in the moment. And when you watch porn and when you're attached to porn and when you're always using pornography to get off, it's hard to really get intimate, get sexual, get emotionally into making an effort to satisfy and please your partner, because pornography, you don't have to please anyone. You only just get trained to please yourself. So this is another thing why pornography is destroying your intimate relationships, because you get used to pleasing only yourself, and when you have sex with your partner, you don't have that mindset of like, I want to please this woman. Instead, porn teaches you to dominate and really treat women in a very unrespectful way. Unrespectful way. I don't even know if that's a word, but pretty much disrespect is the word I mean. Like, porn teaches you to disrespect women, and now watching pornography leads to you have respect to women. And I just said irrespectable, or I don't even know the word that I used. It was obviously not the right word, but disrespect. Okay, so when you watch porn so much, and like most of these scenes, the woman is getting disrespected, right? And what happens is you are getting trained on, this is the way my woman must want to have sex, and so you lose touch to the intimate and the emotional experiences that you can have when you're having sex with your partner. So I know I went over a couple of things here, guys. The whole point here is that I just wanted to share that watching pornography over time does destroy your intimate relationships. And I highly suggest to really not get into it, not even be into it, and not even do it, unless your partner wants to watch a scene or two once in a while with you. That's the only way I would suggest. But without that, I would suggest to kick this habit out of your life. So with that being said, guys, I'm releasing 2 videos a week, okay, on YouTube, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And if you like it, comment, subscribe, drop a, share with somebody that you feel like should watch this video. And I appreciate you guys for watching all these videos, and hopefully you're taking something away from it and you're going back into your life and implementing the things that I share in these videos. So with that being said, see you next time.